Hi, my name's Tony Cerebriani, and this is
Andrea Rodi.
And we're from USAopoly. We are here in the Family Fun Pavilion at Gen Con 2013, and we are thrilled to present to you our fun new games. This is Tapple. It is a light family alphabet category game. The object is simple. You have a category. You have 10 seconds to name an item within that category, press the first letter of that item, and then reset the timer for the next player. It's simple. Let's give it a shot. We're going to try the category of games. So we're going to start the timer, and I'm going to start us off, and I'm going to say T for Tapple. Andrea, your turn.
I'm going to say M for Monopoly.
I'm going to say O for Operation.
I'm going to say R for Risk.
Jenga.
Clue.
Apples to Apples.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Parcheesi.
World of Warcraft.
StarCraft.
I can name another game. I totally can.
Timer went off. She's out. Last man standing wins the card. Decide as a group how many cards to collect to win, or if it's a big group, collect 3 cards and you're the winner. All right, so now we're showing you the game Telestrations. This is the game of telephone turned into a drawing game. You remember that game where you whisper something into a neighbor's ear and then they pass it around the circle, and by the time it comes back, it's a completely different story? Well, we've turned that into a drawing game. This game comes with 8 books, 8 pens, a stack of cards, a timer, a die, and the instructions. The object of the game, first and foremost, is to absolutely laugh hysterically, because what happens is the communication breaks down pretty quick. Everybody draws a card. Somebody decides if you're going to do that side or this side. There's no organization to the words. It's merely a mechanic to get you to choose something. Somebody rolls the die. Everybody then chooses that word number from their card. Inside everyone's dry erase sketchbook, they're going to write their secret word. Everyone's going to have a unique secret word. When everyone's done writing down their secret word, they flip the page, and now everyone's going to have 60 seconds to draw a picture of their word. Just like in other drawing games, no letters, numbers, or words, but basic symbols are okay. When you're done with your drawing, you flip forward 1 page and wait till everyone catches up, and when you're done, you pass books. Now is where the fun happens. Everybody turns back, looks at the picture only. They have no idea if what they're looking at is really what the person started with, because it's up to interpretation. So once they look at this picture, they have an idea of what they think that is. They write down in words what that might be. And then they flip and pass the books again. The new player looks back just at the written guess and has to do new drawing. So just like in the telephone game, you're alternating between players, but here you're doing sketching and guessing. You play all the way until your book comes back to you and you do the big reveal. Usually what you get is something that started and ended completely differently, and uproarious laughter because the changes are amazing. All right, so now I'm going to tell you about our game, Ratuki. This is a fast-paced, simultaneous play card game for 2 to 5 players. 5 players can play this because the game comes with 5 different decks of cards. Each deck is identical. The only difference is the color. The game is a familiar play pattern. You're building stacks from the numbers 1 to 5 in sequential order. However, these stacks can go up or down in sequence. To throw in a little bit of confusion, we also have 5 different suits of the numbers 1 through 5. We have English and Spanish words, we have dice, Roman numerals, regular numbers, hands. Each deck also comes with 2 wild Ratuki cards. The play pattern is anybody can start a stack in the center of the play area with a number 1. Then the race is on to build stacks from 1 to 5. But again, these stacks can go up and down in sequence, so you got to pay attention. And again, since it's simultaneous play, there are multiple stacks and multiple people trying to do the same thing. Whoever plays the 5 on a finished stack gets to say Ratuki and take those as scored cards. You can also choose to use your Ratuki card at any time and throw it on any pile and grab the stack. First player out of their cards from their draw pile says, "I'm out," play stops, and you count the cards you've collected in your score pile, subtract any that are left in your draw pile, and that is your final score. All right, so right now we're showing you Crossways, which is a light strategy path building game. The beautiful thing is, you have to build a path from one side of the board to the opposite, but your path does not have to be a straight line. The way in which you're building your path is by playing standard playing cards, and you're using multiple ways to play those cards. Everyone has a hand of cards and gets to play 1 card play per turn. If you play a single card, you get to place a single marker on the board, and you have to place it on the matching face value and color. So if I played a red ace, I would get to put it on one of the 2 red ace spaces, either here or here. Again, since I'm trying to build a path from one side of the board to the next, I want to look at the other cards in my hand to determine where my best play may be. Now, I could also play a pair of cards matching face value out of my hand, or even a set of matching face cards or cards out of my hand, and that would allow me to play multiple markers on the board. So if I played 2 8s, I would get to place 2 markers. If I played 3 8s, I'd get to place 3 markers. The beautiful thing about playing pairs or sets is that they become wild, and I can put them literally anywhere on the board. I can even double stack them to use in my path or go onto a white square. Anytime you play on a white space, you have to put 2 at a time, and again, the only way you can play 2 at a time is if you're playing a pair or more sets. Again, your path doesn't have to be a straight line, so theoretically, I could be building a path that's meandering across this direction. Now, there is some defense in the game, and that is when you play a suited run of cards, of 2 or more in the set. So if I played a queen and king of spades, I could choose to take 2 markers off the board from anywhere, and I could take these 2 green if I wanted to prevent green from continuing to build that path. Now, as I mentioned, you can stack pieces. So if at any point during the game you play a card that is mirroring somebody else's marker there, that player can actually go ahead and stack on top of that. Now, that player and the bottom player also have access to that spot in their path. The only time that people are prevented from sharing a space or not accessing a space is when a player places a second marker of their color onto a spot, therefore preventing any new markers from being able to be placed there. Now, although green is trapped in the middle, green still has access to that spot in their path, but blue and purple may not be able to go on that path.